Hello, Gloria Brooks here with Nature Glow's eScience. Today is part 2 of Who is in Control of Your Homeschool. Today I want to talk about sharing the responsibility of your child's education with them. So yesterday I talked about how homeschoolers have to answer to the state for what they're doing in their homeschool. Some states are more lenient than others, Alaska possibly being at the top of that list. You can certainly Google search that to see what is the most lenient homeschool state, allowing you as much freedom as possible, as much liberty as possible for following your homeschool style to its utmost. And what I mean by that is following your learner's curiosity, and which many times doesn't look like curriculum. And I know that in the American culture we have a very hard time letting go of curriculum because it's what most of us adults grew up with. Most of us went through the traditional public or private school situation. A small percentage of us were homeschooled. Homeschooling is actually starting to ramp up, obviously, with the pandemic, but it has not been a popular choice until, the last couple decades. Really, it started to pick up momentum, thankfully, because parents are realizing that, hey, why do I want someone else to control what my child is learning all day? Most of what we're taught in school, we don't even use. It's ridiculous. Most of it is a perfectly waste of time, just a perfectly ridiculous waste of time. Those 12 years, it's a very high percentage of just wasted time and energy. It's just really sad. And yet, we are compelled, most of the population is so compelled to put their kids and a lot of people don't have a choice. They feel, or so they feel, because they work all day and don't have any other option. So it's really tough. Then you're left with leaving, this is so taboo in our society, but leaving kids home alone to homeschool themselves. And I don't know what to say about that. That's a tough one, because kids really don't know how to be by themselves, because we trained them from a young age that they can't be by themselves. They can't be trusted. But indigenous cultures trust their kids all the time. It's part of their culture that kids have alone time with each other, have alone time by themselves. They go on these quests when they're 13, these vision quests. And they're out in the wilderness alone, and we just don't do that as a culture. So anyway, little side rant there. So I wanted to talk about sharing homeschool learning with your child, sharing the power. Who has the ultimate say? You can work in cooperation with your child. And years ago, back in 2010, I ran an in-person homeschool program called Heathcote Art and Science Center. We called it HASC, lovingly for short. And I think one of the regrets I have is that I didn't really ask the kids what they wanted. I just stocked the learning center with teaching materials that I had. I had an extremely limited budget. And I was only getting paid $5 an hour per student, and I had a small group, so I didn't really have the funds. I guess I felt like I didn't have the funds to ask the kids what they wanted, but now that I look back in retrospect, I wished I would have said, hey, what resources do you guys want in the Learning Center? And I could have had them bring stuff to share with each other. So live and learn, I make mistakes. I'm learning as I go. I'm still deschooling, and here it is, like a decade after it's a decade now since I left teaching in a private traditional school setting. Not count, I guess last year I did go back for 4.5 months. I taught in a private boarding school. And I don't know why I'm not counting that, but well, I am. It was only a 4.5 month adventure. It was really super awesome. Okay, so back to my regret of not asking my students what they wanted to bring. So don't make my mistake. Talk to your kids. What resources do you want for your learning? And perhaps you're a family that already asks your kids, but many parents don't. They just shove their kids into an online homeschool program. Maybe it's a public school program. Hopefully, if your family is miserable and unhappy, hopefully you can make the decision to become homeschoolers. Liberate yourselves from that system of drudgery, of compulsory curriculum. So partnering with your kids, talk to them. What resources do you want? And I'm a big proponent of creating learning spaces in your house, like table setup, bookcases, and not letting it look like a real classroom unless your kids want that. You can talk to them. We can design a resource center, learning center that your kids will love. And then go out to the store together, or the thrift store, or go on eBay or whatnot, and have them make a decision, like give them a small budget. What do you guys want for your learning? And then just order what they want. When you go to the library, obviously, I think most parents do this anyway, just allow the kids to free roam and graze for the books that they want. And then just ask them, what do you want? What books do you want me to read aloud to you? And if you have struggling readers, that's an opportunity for them to learn reading in a non-compulsory way, is reading aloud to them. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so partner with your child. And remember, unschooling is legal in all 50 states, so there are ways that, and I know that I don't have all unschoolers watching my channel here, or my videos here, but that goes to show that there are ways around doing exactly what you and your child want for their education. So I hope that you and your child can partner together and have a wonderful, awesome holiday homeschool season. Bye for now. Talk to you tomorrow.